So having established the Squarespace website for a year, what that allowed for was to gather a year's worth of analytics effectively so that before we begin to build this new website, there's already a few key learnings that we can take away from it. So the things that were useful that'll inform the design obviously will be what kind of device types were visiting the website, where the traffic was coming from, what kind of browsers I would need to support, what kind of operating systems. Um, so it turned out in this case the website was primarily visited from mobile devices. So therefore, this site will have to be mobile first. There's still a large amount of traffic coming in from desktop, so we have to make sure that the desktop experience is also fairly good. But uh, in designing this, it'll be approached from that small window that you would have in on a mobile device. So after looking at the other analytics, what we could learn from another big thing we can learn from the analytics was the what type of content was popular on the website. So we found out that people were interested in the fees. People were interested in meeting the members and seeing who the members were like. So this informs us about what kind of content to focus on for the next version of the website. So in starting from scratch, creating a new version one, I guess it's important that we remember that content for me is always king. So with that in mind, I created yeah, this was an opportunity to create entirely new copy for the website, which starts off in a text editor. And this is where you get to pick out and highlight which bits of information you think is the most important for the website. So this is several revisions in, but prior to this, um, there was a lot of change to the content, which was picked up from after I did some usability testing. But I'll get into that a little bit later. So in a larger website, what I would normally tend to do is to do wireframes, some kind of user journey, uh, and and that would be done in something in a graphic design package, whatever you happen to use, Photoshop, Illustrator, or Figma if you're using online, or I use Affinity Designer. But because this is a fairly small website, where I think speed was sort of more of a factor. I felt I could effectively just prototype straight away. And with that in mind, I think we're ready to show you version one with the of the website with the new content. So this is a very rough version of the website, just to put placeholders and put content into some form. Because, okay, so just to inform some of the design, so the logo, because it's so colorful, I thought, okay, so that's going to look busy if we pair that with any background imagery. Um, so I thought, well, I mean, there we could invert it to white and then use some kind of colorway in the back, but because this is the primary page, the home page, I thought it was important to have the logo represented properly. And so you see it here as, yeah, there's the simple logo over a clean white background. This gives us an opportunity to introduce some white space here. Um, yeah, and one of the key learnings that we had was that uh, website visitors were equally visiting the English version of the website to the Dutch version. So I thought it was important to have the language selector as one of the top items there. I went with a hamburger menu simply because I think that keeps the keeps it sort of contained and I think the priority is as I said in the content. And so what I've gone for here is effectively just gone straight to a video. Um, And much of this is basically relying on a video to give you a sense of the feel of the club. And what's nice about this is, say, if I was viewing this on mobile, you would have the video. So within the fold, you would have the video, you have the logo, and you'd have the welcome message, which is and the essential summary of what is contained in the website. And then version 1, I included a link to say join us now for a free trial, but UX testing has led me to change that later on, but I'll explain to when I'll get to that bit later. Yeah, so the content is fairly concise. It's very scannable. Um, and I made use of a lot of different colorways, gradient backgrounds, which is obviously quite trendy nowadays. But because this was sympathetic to the logo, effectively, and the brand, and I've changed the font to Montserrat, which is, again, I felt sort of like a very friendly, very rounded, more approachable font than what was available previously. For content, I decided to include a few Instagram plugins to start off with, just to show the whole social aspect of the site, and having more links into other main social media platforms, I think, improves the web score of the website. So that was the rationale behind including lots of different Instagram plugins. So again, very bright, colorful gradients on top of the copy. And again, more Instagram plugins. As you can see, I've decided to use a lot of rounded corners, say on the maps, and the graphics and the buttons, just again, so because it's sort of much more friendly and approachable and softer, I guess. And one of the key things was pricing, so I've put that straight into the homepage as well. But one thing I found important when I was highlighting the pricing, because it's quite a large number to show like that. So what was important was to explain the worth of the membership, and by showing all the different benefits that you get by being a member, rather than just sort of saying the membership is 150 and boom, that's it. I thought, okay, so this is an important aspect of it that we need to sort of make sure it's clear, and we can sell them, and people are aware of all the benefits they get from that membership. We've introduced a new tier as well, which is the pay as you play. But yeah, and again, the emphasis will be to highlight all the things that is not available in the pay as you play, in the annual membership, basically, and you've got the rest of the information at the bottom. So that's version 1. The drop-down menu is fairly simple as well. Let's see if I go into these other pages. No, these pages don't exist in version 1.